Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel, Siriana Tarot. Today we're doing a special pick a card reading all about what might be blocking love in your life and how you can release it. So take a deep breath, center yourself, and really focus on your heart. When you're ready, choose the pile that calls to you the most. Trust your intuition. It already knows the answer. Once you've picked your card, I'll guide you through the message, the lesson, and the steps to open your heart to the love you deserve. So let's dive in. Now, in front of you, you'll see 3 piles. Each one holds a unique message just for you. Take a moment to really feel which one you're drawn to, and don't overthink it. Your intuition knows exactly which pile has the message you need right now. So we have pile number 1 with quartz, pile number 2 with citrine, and pile number 3 with amethyst. Once you've made your choice, keep it in your mind. That pile is your guide for today's reading, your personal message about what might be blocking love and how to release it. Welcome in pile number 1. For those of you who chose the quartz, we're going to be taking a look at what's blocking love and how to release it. And we're going to start with your first card, which is going to be your core blockage. So we have number 4, sexuality. Okay. So this card is saying or telling us here that it's time to explore your sexuality. And it's really asking you, how do you feel about yourself? Do you feel sexy, attractive, and happy with your body, or are you judging yourself too harshly? There's a need for you to let go of any old feelings of hurt, shame, or guilt, and anything there attached to your sexuality. If you're currently in a relationship and you need to spice things up, or you need to bring romance back in, or you need to make intimacy incredibly fulfilling, seductive, exhilarating, and even orgasmic, you need to let go of your defenses and fears of being intimate with your partner. And even if you're not with a partner, this is necessary. You also need to let go of control and dive into unguarded, ecstatic, blissful passion. But the optimal words there are let go of control. And be creative. You need to be communicative in the bedroom with your partner. And you need to find new and exciting ways to thrill each other, or to be thrilled even. All right. Your root cause, or what's blocking you here in love, is tolerating abuse. And this tolerating abuse energy certainly can indicate that this comes from past trauma. This can either go back into your childhood, or it could be in a particular relationship, or it could be in your past, in your past relationships, a conglomeration of your experiences. And Spirit is really asking you here, or telling you rather, that any kind of abuse is not okay. And you really deserve someone who treats you well. And if you're currently in a connection where there is any type of abuse, then intimacy is going to be, real intimacy is going to be blocked. It's not going to be possible because of that sense of betrayal. And because you won't be feeling safe. You won't be feeling as if you can completely let go with your person. Now, for those of you where this is in your past, it's just a reminder of what you've been through and working really hard towards healing and clearing, but just recognizing that you don't deserve that abuse. You deserve somebody who respects you and loves you unconditionally. Now, how this blockage manifests in relationship or choices, we see tree, we see let them go. So the energy I get, and the number 18 may be important for some of you, but the energy that I'm getting from this card is some of you may burn bridges. Some of you may let go or walk away from situations quickly, or maybe even too quickly, or when it gets difficult. I'm really kind of getting, I'm going to leave you before you leave me energy. I'm also getting like a really strong impulsivity from this card. So you may have urges and impulses to be intimate with someone, but you may not fully take your time to get to know them first, is what I'm getting. You may chase that high and that pleasure, but it may lead to a lot of short-lived relationships. So I'm getting like this could be a very love 'em and leave 'em vibe, or this could be you being very easily triggered and walking away from situations, burning bridges quickly, being impulsive. Now, for others of you, I feel like how this shows up is in a totally different way. So for those of you where it doesn't resonate in, love them and leave them type energy, or calling in that type of energy into your life, if that's not you, it may be that you're still really holding on to this past. You're still holding on to what you've been through. You still have energy blockages within your nervous system that need to be let go of in order to set you free, in order to allow you to be completely, truly intimate with someone else, and for you to fully and completely experience that ecstasy and that pleasure with the right person. So what the soul is asking to be understood through this, we have obligation. So stop telling yourself you should when you cater to others or to unnecessary expectations of yourself. You stop your flow of abundance. Now, this is a really interesting card to come through here for those of you who chose pile number 1, because for some of you, this can be an indication of going through the motions when it comes to intimacy, because it's what you should do, and you're not fully able to embrace and like let go and dive into ecstasy, into pleasure. But more so it's like going through the motions because this is something I should be doing. And we get some confirmation there from that horn outside. But for others of you, for those of you where you have a tendency to pull the trigger quickly, and what I mean by that is, to be very reactive, to get very upset with somebody very quickly and kind of burn that bridge or walk away from that connection when things get hard, or when you start to sense that, okay, they're not living up to my expectations, or maybe I'm not living up to their expectations and they're criticizing me in some way. There's a part of you that may be catering to these unnecessary expectations that you should just walk away, or you should blow up, or you should leave, okay? And for others of you, it's the exact opposite, where if somebody is being demanding, or they have unnecessary expectations of you, whether that's in the bedroom or outside of the bedroom, that that you cater to it and you try to do better. Now, I'm not talking about finding compromise. I'm not talking about responding to another person's needs. Okay, I feel like the key words, the key element here in this message here is unnecessary expectations. And stop telling yourself you should do things. And start really doing what feels right, what really brings you pleasure and what brings you joy. And that may be also stepping outside of the box, whether you have a partner or not, but really, really spending that time with yourself and allowing yourself to explore, your kinks or your fantasies or what brings you joy, what makes you happiest, okay? And the lesson to learn, the action that's needed to release, so practical or energetic steps towards healing. Spirit saying to laugh and have fun. So we see smile, we see positive energy, and we see joyfulness. So what I get from this card, for those of you who chose pile number 1, is it's about really bringing that joy back into intimacy. For some of you, it may be not taking it so seriously, being able to laugh at yourself. And that can be difficult when sometimes we don't feel the best about our bodies, or we don't feel the best about ourselves, or we're on edge because we've experienced abuse and we worry that, okay, it's going to unfold again or it's going to happen again. So there's a real need here to, whether we're talking about, a particular relationship or the people that you allow into your life, being like, we see how this group of people here, they're very happy, they're comfortable together. So it's really about choosing and being with somebody that makes you feel like you can be yourself and makes you feel like you can be at ease, your best friend and your lover. And say you're already with that person, but you know that this is an internal block. It's really about, working with affirmations, working on, bringing positivity into your life, into your being, and knowing that you're perfect just the way you are at this time and this space. And that there's, yes, there might be room for improvement, but the person that you allow into your life is with you because of you. And because you're perfect exactly the way you are. And if that person doesn't necessarily make you feel that way, then there may need to be an evaluation as to whom you're allowing into your life and how intimate you're allowing yourself to be with them, or how intimate you're allowing them to be with you. But I also feel like the action here is really about laughing and having fun. And obviously intimate moments aren't always funny, and they're not always a time to laugh. I mean, there's a lot that, a lot of emotions there that aren't necessarily funny and joyful, but it's something sexy, passionate, also needs to bring you joy. And I feel like it's the level of comfort that you have within yourself and with the person that you're with is going to get you there the quickest. And I think it's really telling of your choices here. Again, whom you allow into your life. And if you're confident with the person you're with, your choice, the person that you're allowing to get close to you, then it's about, being open. I'm getting a really strong energy here of like opening the heart chakra. I'm sorry, well, the heart chakra, yes, but the throat chakra more than anything, and speaking up. And saying that, maybe I want to do things differently. Or, maybe we need to try this. And again, that can be whether or not you're with a person or if you're on your own. Okay, so I want to take a look at now what opens up for you. The love energy that flows in once this block within your sexuality is cleared or begins to clear. All right, so we have Empress energy. Beautiful. Wow. So Empress energy, this is really dropping into your divine feminine. Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. But there's no greater embodiment of sensuality, sexuality, creation, life force than the Empress. Ho. All right, and we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is all about having a good time. The Knight of Wands is all about trust and self-confidence, having more fun, especially when it comes to those intimate moments or just in your love life in general. But it's like there's this deep-rooted confidence here with the Empress energy. And she's creating this very happy, very fun, very joyous, very passionate path, and also very passionate life, but a very passionate path to love. And we see the Seven of Swords, okay? So the Seven of Swords to me tells me that I'm not foreseeing anything like that's going to be draining for you or that's going to take away from you. I'm actually seeing that many of you, this is a timing card. This is Moon in Aquarius. So it could be by this new moon in Aquarius that you're having these blockages being resolved. But I'm actually seeing with the Seven of Swords, the message that I'm getting is that the love energy that's flowing to you once this block is lifted is something that you cannot even imagine yet. Okay, so it's going to be powerful, it's going to be passionate, but I feel like the best message here is you dropping into this Empress energy, feeling like the best possible version of yourself, even if you're not perfect. And this is you really, truly being able to enjoy intimate moments with the right people because you're making the right choices about what you want, what you need, and also what you're going to allow into your life. All right, pile number one, I'm going to leave it here. I really hope these messages help. If they do, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely drop me a comment and let me know if this message resonated with you. Sending you love and light. Take care. Welcome in to those of you who chose pile number 2 and citrine. Today we're going to be taking a look at what's blocking love and how to release it. So let's go ahead and start with your core blockage. What's the main energy preventing you from love right now, or preventing love right now? So we have number 29, discover your life purpose. So some of you out there are feeling a little bit lost about what it is that you really truly want to be doing. And for others of you, I feel like you may be very, very focused on your life path and purpose, but almost to a fault, where you're not allowing that room or that space for love. So this card, what it calls to our attention here is for you to start asking yourself, what is the meaning of your life? So we are all souls here who are having a physical experience, and we're really here we're meant to learn and to grow here on this earth experience. So this card and this message is asking you to immerse yourself in this life by expanding, stretching, and understanding your reasons for being here. Spirit wants to remind you that nothing is impossible for someone who's following his or her destiny. And also that your guides, your angels, and your higher self are constantly communicating with you through signs, feelings, people, books, symbols, music, you name it. So it's really important for those of you who chose pile number 2 that you follow your hunches. Recognize that, on a daily basis, you're being given important guidance. And so it's important that, if you have that strong feeling to go somewhere or to travel somewhere, to talk to someone, to attend a seminar, to write, to paint, whatever it is, no matter how far-fetched this inner guidance is, that you need to really start listening to it. Our soul's purpose here includes a combination of experiences that maybe our mind isn't always going to understand, but it's important for your soul to process these messages and experiences so that it can learn and grow. And some of these experiences are enjoyable and heightened, while others are challenging and may cause you to struggle. But through these experiences, this is where you really get to know yourself. And so for a lot of you, you need to start giving yourself permission to focus on really what makes your heart sing and put your intensity of emotion into attracting what it is that you truly desire on many different levels. Now, the root cause for pile number 2, where this block originates, whether it's a past experience, a fear, or a mindset, is through a fear. And we see a fear of cheating. So not everyone cheats. You need to open your heart and trust your partner. So for some of you, there's a fear here of betrayal. And this can be rooted in a past experience that you've had with, infidelity. Or it could be something that you witnessed growing up with your parents or your guardians. It can be something, it can also come from insecurities. I'm also seeing with this fear of cheating another little interesting message coming through, that some of you may fear or have a bit of imposter syndrome. Okay, so feeling like you don't really deserve to be where you are, to have what you have. Now again, that can be in lots of different areas of your life, but it can also be in love. And it's important to take a look at that, because whether you're single or you're with someone, I feel like Spirit's saying that it's important to trust until someone gives you a reason not to. That we can't be in a fear-based energy just waiting for the other shoe to drop, because that can be something that we very well manifest. And also to really recognize, pile number 2, that you deserve to have love and you deserve loyalty, just as that's what you offer and you bring to the table. Now, how this blockage shows up for you, or how this manifests in your relationships and choices, we see the throne, 45, breaking down to a number 9. Your potential is endless. So what I get is, for some of you, with these people that are showing up in this card, we see 3 people. And although the message that the potential is endless, I think that's true. And it's a beautiful message. I feel like some of you really start overthinking and start worrying about all the possible pitfalls, all the possible negative things that may happen. And sometimes your mind may run away with that. And again, that's going to anchor you in this lower vibration. And it's really going to create more fear and worry than is truly necessary. And remember, worry isn't going to change an outcome. Worrying isn't going to change someone's behavior. And I also get another message here with this throne card. I see that some of you too may have a tendency to limit yourselves by comparing yourself to others. So you may limit yourself comparing yourself to others in their relationships or your single friends. Now that can be physically, that can be where they are they married, do they have children, are they in happy relationships, are they in shitty relationships? So I feel like it's important for you to no longer compare yourself to others. Remember that you're on your own unique path, and you're not late. You're not early, you're perfect, you're in perfect timing, you're just in time, and your path and your journey is uniquely yours. And I also feel that some of you may manifest Okay, now, and when I say this, I don't want you to understand the message as you manifest someone cheating on you. No, we're all responsible for our own actions. But some of you may call in people who kind of recreate this narrative. And when we see that happening, when we continuously call in partners that are unsafe or that are risky or that end up cheating or not being loyal, we have to step back and take a look and see, okay, are there any red flags here that I was missing, that I was ignoring? And what pattern do I keep repeating here? Whom do I keep allowing into my life? Now, we can't, as I said, always judge and always control other people's behaviors, and we're not always going to be a perfect judge of character. So this message here is not about beating yourself up, but it's about taking a look at, okay, so this happened, this is a theme. This is something I keep seeing. Is it something that I'm manifesting, okay, through negative thinking, or am I repeating patterns that I've learned either growing up or in other relationships that cause me to go for somebody who's risky or not completely honest? And like I said, do not beat yourself up. The message here isn't that it's your fault or you've created this scenario. No. But sometimes upon reflection, we can look back and say, I could have avoided this because they told me who they were early on and I chose to ignore it. Or, and oftentimes that is the case, okay? So lessons to learn. So what the soul is asking to be understood through this is speak your truth. So you've stayed silent long enough. Speak up, stand your ground, and state your perspectives. You will rise to a higher vibration when you let your voice be heard. Ooh, so a real nice clearing there of the throat chakra. Now, the energy that I'm getting from this is, for a lot of you, this is about, especially early on when you're meeting someone or you're talking to someone, to set your expectations, to be very, very clear. For example, like you have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to cheating. Let that be known early on. Don't be afraid to take a hard stance, okay? The right person is not going to be put off by that. If you're looking for monogamy, you're looking for stability and security with someone, to be very, very clear about that, about what you're offering and what you're looking for. Again, the right person is not going to be put off with you having expectations and having high expectations as well. But I also feel for some of you, this unblocking of the throat chakra is also speaking into existence what it is you truly want. And again, for a lot of you, that's going to be through prayer or through affirmations. But through prayer is when we ask the universe or we ask God for what it is that we truly want. And, through meditation is where we receive those answers. But I'm also seeing not only when we ask for what we want, we also wait patiently for it. So we don't allow somebody into our life who we only allow them into our life because we're feeling lonely or because we're sick of waiting for the right person. So I feel like there's a strong energy here in this reading to be very clear about not ignoring red flags or not allowing someone into your life, whether they're new or they're a previous connection, into your life because you're feeling lonely or because you feel like, everybody else is in a happy relationship. I'm sick of being the third party. I just want somebody to share my time with. I feel like Spirit's really wanting you to be discerning. I also feel like it's about opening yourself up to new experiences. And with that said, taking a look at what you've been through, the things that have made you happy, but also the challenges, and recognize that the challenging experiences that you've had are showing you contrast, are helping you realize what it is that you truly want, and then also what it is you don't want. I also feel a really strong message here for those of you who chose pile number 2, that, being on your path, knowing what it is that you truly want, and that is not an easy task. It's not something that usually happens overnight. But you are getting little nudges and you are getting little taps on your shoulders from your angels and your guides about what it is that you're here to do, what it is that you should be doing, right? And the way we know what we should be doing is because it makes us genuinely happy. And I'm getting a strong indication for some of you, there's a need to express yourself. Now, it could be through music or creativity. It could be through starting a YouTube channel. It could be through writing, but it could be anything. Whatever it is that you're being really called to do. I mean, maybe it's rescuing animals, right? It can be anything. But what it is that you're being called to do, getting on your life path and your life purpose, and being really unapologetic about it, is actually going to, and for some of you it has already, you'll know who you are, but for a lot of you, being on your life path and your life purpose is going to bring you the right person. It's going to bring you love, because that's where you're going to find commonality, that's where you're going to find compatibility, and doing what you love is going to bring you in contact with like-minded souls. So whether that's, going to the club and dancing till 4 a.m. to, drawing and painting, right? Or, creating a YouTube channel, whatever it might be, all right? And it's going to be different for all of you, but that's going to put you in that right vibration to call in the right person, okay? So we get confirmation there from the traffic outside. So actions to release. So a practical or energetic step towards healing is family connections. So respect, people, and kinship. Okay, so this is an interesting message here for those of you who chose pile number 2, because what I'm seeing here is that some of you, it's about really spending time with people that bring you joy. Friends or family, and then friends that you consider to be family. But I'm also seeing for some of you, there may be some important work here when it comes to healing and releasing things that have been passed down to you that don't actually belong to you. And it may be this, okay? It may be this, where this blockage originates. Again, if you witnessed cheating or infidelity growing up, something that has been passed down to you or something that you learned, it's time to break free from that pile number 2. For others of you, this may be ancestral in nature, so you may need to do some, some ancestral healing, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. Now, what's going to open up for you? The love energy that flows in once this blockage is lifted. We have the Queen of Swords. I love that. All right. We also have the High Priestess. Okay. And we have the Star card. Beautiful. So again, what's opening up for you? We see the Queen of Swords. This is you being very clear. And again, discovering your life purpose. That energy there is very Queen of Swords, because she knows where she's going. She knows where she wants to channel her energy. She knows what she's here to do. And again, if you don't know your life path and purpose, and you don't know exactly what to do right now, that's okay. Spirit's telling you to be open to the signs, the synchronicities, the symbols that you're receiving every day to get you there. So if you don't feel like you're there yet, don't worry. The Queen of Swords is also someone here who knows exactly who she is, all right? And she's not going to compare herself to others. And she's not anchored in a lower vibrational timeline. So she's trusting until she's given a reason not to. But she's also going to be very discerning about the energy that she allows into her life, the people that are around her. The music that she's listening to, the movies that she's watching, the conversations that she's having, and then also the people that are around her, okay? Because if you're around all these people who, have their, they make up and they break up with their partners, or they cheat on their partners, or their partners cheat on them, again, it doesn't mean that you have to X them out of your life, but you have to see that how is this affecting your view of love and your view of relationships? What I love about the High Priestess is you trusting your intuition. And she's also being, the High Priestess is a bit of a celibate card. So some of you, maybe there's some celibacy in order, but that's not going to be the case for all of you. The High Priestess is someone who she doesn't allow, not everybody has access to her. And she knows whom she can allow into her life and whom she cannot. And I feel like there's a spiritual awakening here for those of you who chose pile number 2. That's helping you, bringing you your person, bringing you love. The High Priestess is also a very powerful reminder that the universe, again, is reworking people and situations to bring you what you're asking for and what you're looking for and what's for your highest and your greatest good. And finally, we have the Star card. So I love this because pile number 2, this is saying that there's healing for you. But the Star card is telling me that there's also wish fulfillment. It comes after a tower moment, after this major awakening, after this aha moment. It brings healing and it brings you your wish fulfillment. And it's also all about doing things differently. So a lot of you won't even be recognizing yourselves in, a few months from now, a few weeks, a few months, or you're a totally different person than you were a year ago. But I love this because this is saying that this healing and wish fulfillment is yours when it comes to love. So what you're looking for is coming in. And it's coming in mysterious ways. But in hindsight, you're going to be able to see very clearly how this all happened. All right, pile number 2, I'm going to leave it here. If these messages resonate, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop me a comment and let me know how these messages resonate with you. Sending you love and light. Take care. Welcome in for those of you who chose pile number 2 and amethyst. So we're going to take a look at what's blocking love and how to release it. All right, so we're going to start with your core blockage. What's the main energy preventing love right now? And we have number 32, which breaks down to a number 5, and it's the Phoenix rising. Okay, so Spirit's message here with this card is that everything in your life is falling apart in order for you to rise from the ashes with renewed strength. So right now, pile number 3, this is not a time to create, but a time to sweep away everything that just hasn't or isn't working in your life. The reason so many things are breaking down or things aren't going your way is because the old cycle of your life is now completing. You may feel like you're walking through the fires of life right now, but this is happening in order to be cleansed and purified for your rebirth. So soon you won't even recognize yourselves, pile number 3. You are in the process of reclaiming your spirit. If it's possible, right now is a really good time to isolate yourself from chaos or any chaos that may be surrounding you. It's time for you to feel any pain that you might have suppressed previously so that you can take this time to heal. And Spirit wants to remind you that the universe has plans and opportunities that are better than you can even imagine. So it's time to let go and trust and anticipate what's coming for you, pile number 3. Okay? So we're going to take a look at the root cause of this blockage and where this originates, past experiences, fear, or mindset. And we see lone wolf. Are you really a loner, or are you afraid of loving someone who could hurt you? That's a powerful message, pile number 3. Are you really a loner, or are you afraid of loving someone who could hurt you? So pile number 3, some of you, you've been maybe self-isolating for too long, or you're really hyper independent. And it's important to take a look at this because independence is an absolutely beautiful thing. And once you are independent, it's really hard sometimes to move into a relationship, to find that healthy balance between interconnectedness and independence. Most likely this comes from a past experience where you lost yourself in a relationship, or from codependency. But I'm also seeing that this root cause or this blockage could originate from childhood for some of you. And those of us who maybe didn't have the love and support that we needed for either extended periods of times or during moments when we really needed someone, we learned that we had to deal with things on our own. And, you know, that can create a habit or a system within us. And believe me, I resonate with this message very much so. But it can create a system or habits within us that make us feel like we can't depend on anybody else. And although it's a beautiful thing to be independent and to be strong and to be self-sufficient, you know, as humans, we really truly are pack animals to a degree. And we really do benefit from relationships. Not all of them, seemingly, right? But we do benefit from that interaction. We benefit from that love. We benefit from that support. We benefit from making love, intimacy, touch. And so I feel like this root cause originates for a lot of you from childhood and learning from an early age to be really hyper independent, to having to deal with things on your own because nobody else was gonna help you do that anyways, right? And for those of you where that isn't the case, there may be this fear that's coming from loving someone who could hurt you. And this may not come from childhood, but it may come from your previous relationships or a particular relationship where you were all in, but you experienced betrayal or abuse. Okay? So how it shows up or how this blockage manifests in relationships or choices, and you can hear my throat chakra acting up, is we get evil queen energy. So you deserve sugar, not salt. Now, for some of you, you may make choices that constantly recreate that hurt or that heartbreak from childhood or in a previous relationship. So an example I'm going to give you is, for example, let's say you had a parent who wasn't around, either because your parents were separated or maybe they worked a lot, whatever it might be. You may be attracted to people that don't show up for you because that's what you learned at an early age. You're attracted to people that don't show up for you or don't give to you the way you need them to give to you because that's the paradigm that you have ingrained in you, because that's what feels comfortable, because that's what, I mean, it may be that you don't like it. I'm sure that you don't like it, but that's what you know. Okay, so that's one way that this blockage manifests in your relationships or choices, or choosing a partner who doesn't give you what you need because that's the energy, that's the frequency that you're used to. And that's something that's not true. That's something that definitely needs to shift. And I feel like there's definitely trust issues here. Feeling like you really can't trust someone either because of infidelity or because they weren't there for you, or they, you know, or nobody, or it feels like nobody can show up for you the way that you need them to. But I'm also getting a little bit of an energy of pessimism from this card. You deserve sugar, not salt. So instead of focusing on all the bad things that have happened to you, pile number 3, recognize that, you know what, the bad things that have happened here are showing me contrast. That is not what I want. I know what I deserve. I deserve the best. I deserve the sweetest. I deserve fidelity. I deserve a dependable partner. I deserve love. Love and loyalty the way that I give it to others. Love, loyalty, and support. And so for some of you, you may also, and it was funny, my throat chakra started to act up there for a second. You need to work with either affirmations, or you need to rewrite the stories that you're telling yourself or what you're telling yourself, because you deserve the best. Okay? Now, the lesson to learn here, or what the soul is asking to be understood through this pile number 3, is release attachments. Ooh, I love this. There's something you need to let go of. It's either a limiting belief, an untruth, or negative behavior. And of course, it could be all 3. It's holding you back and keeping you from stepping into your true potential and happiness. Wow. All right. So I do feel like that was pretty self-explanatory, but releasing attachments, and again, releasing attachments from childhood or from previous relationships. And there are so many different ways that we can do that. Now, we can do this through meditation. You can do a simple search on YouTube, how to release attachments. I personally work with an energy healer, and we do that every so often, okay, to release attachments, anything you might have picked up along the way that's not yours or that you no longer need to carry around with you. All right, as I said, some of you may want to also start working with affirmations to help you rewrite the stories that you've been telling yourself. Now, not rewriting history, not rewriting the truth of what you've been through or what's happened, but rewriting what it is you truly deserve so that you can manifest happiness and love. All right, so an action to release, so a practical or energetic step towards healing, we see connect with water. So I have to say, I haven't really been talking about, zodiac signs in this particular reading. But I was getting really strong Scorpio vibes, and I feel like some of you have Scorpio placements, or maybe this is going to be really unfolding for you in Scorpio season, which is right around the corner because we've just started Libra season, so it's within the next couple of weeks. But Spirit's asking you here, actionable steps for you are to connect with water. So some of you, you may need to get in the water. Get your feet in a river, in a stream, in a lake, in the ocean, in the sea, provided that's a possibility for you, provided that it's not too cold wherever you are. Some of you, you're being called to go to a particular destination. Okay, answer that call if that's a possibility. Some of you may be working with water spirits. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with water spirits. But I'm seeing somebody, and this does not have to do with water spirits, but the image they just showed me was like sensory dep. I don't know if any of you have access to sensory deprivation tanks. I mean, let me know if you do. That would be pretty wild. But more so, I feel like this is like when we run a bath, or we're able to get into a pool or a lake or the sea, and float for a moment and let everything go quiet so you can just hear the sound of your breath and you can release. And so for some of you, that doing that or something similar to that is going to be a major release for you. It's going to be an actionable step for you to help clearing this blockage. Also, the importance of hydration. Okay, so some of you, it's literally about drinking more water, making sure that you're properly hydrated. Interesting. And I do feel like I'm getting really strong Scorpio vibes here, but it could be Cancer or Pisces as well. But I'm really not, this is not really meant to be a signs reading. All right, so let's take a look at what's opening up for you pile number 3. So the love energy that flows in once this block is lifted. We see the 7 of Wands. Oh, I like this energy, release attachments. And this 7 of Wands, her auric field is in tip-top shape. She's protected. She's strong. Okay, those negative attachments have been released. She's experiencing a really strong, healthy, balanced solar plexus chakra. She's feeling the success. She's feeling protected. And we see the 2 of Cups. So here comes that love and that emotional balance. And we see Fool, a brand new beginning. Wow. So for a lot of you, pile number 3, you have a brand new beginning in love coming. One that is healthy, is balanced, it's a relationship or a person that's going to protect you as much as you protect them. It's healthy, it's successful. It's where 2 become 1, where you balance each other out in the most harmonious ways, where it's reciprocal. But it's also going to be fun, new, and exciting. Some of you, this is someone you meet on vacation or you travel together. Side note. Sorry, my cat is, if you hear little drops, my cat is sleeping and dropping off little tubes of moisturizer that I have over there. All right, so anyway, yeah, so pile number 3, this is absolutely fantastic. What's opening up for you is strength, protection, emotional balance, and a brand new, exciting soulmate connection or love here for you. All right, so I'm going to leave it here. I'm sending you so much love and light. If these messages do resonate, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop me a comment. Let me know if you like this reading and how this reading resonates with you. Have a beautiful day. Take care.